When tourists think about Greece, they usually think about beaches, since it is a fine, time-tested European tradition to go south in the summer and work on their skin cancer foundation. And of course enjoying islands and beaches again, and it can become crowded. Last but not least, let's not forget excellent Greek food. And some folks throw in visits to museums and some historical sites around Athens if they are coming to the country through Athens. And let's not forget, Greece gave us a first democracy. The ancient Greeks were the first to create a democracy. The word democracy comes from two Greek words that mean people, demos, and rule, kratos. The first known democracy in the world was in Athens. Athenian democracy developed around the 5th century BCE. I always wanted to see the obvious Acropolis in Athens, and it is almost a must-see sight if you happen to be in Athens. And of course, the Acropolis is the UNESCO World Heritage Site. As the UNESCO says, the Acropolis of Athens and its monuments are universal symbols of the classical spirit and civilization and form the greatest architectural and artistic complex that Greek antiquity gave to the world. The rocky hill was transformed into a unique monument of thought and the arts. So, of course, I wouldn't want to miss it. I made the climb to the Acropolis and it was nice. Walking there was amazing. I had beautiful views of the city when I was not trying to squeeze through the crowds. It was in winter, which is considered in Greece off-season, but still pre-pandemic after all. The Acropolis of Athens is an ancient citadel located on a rocky hill above the city, and it contains remains of several ancient buildings of great architectural and historic significance. The most famous being the Parthenon. The word Acropolis is from the Greek word akron, highest point, and polis, city. Although the term Acropolis is generic and there are many other Acropolises in Greece, the significance of the Acropolis of Athens is such that it is commonly known as the Acropolis without qualification. During ancient times, it was known also more as Cecropia, after the legendary serpent man Cecrops, the supposed first king of Athens. While there is evidence that the hill was inhabited as far back as the 4th millennium BC, it was in the 5th century BC that the construction of the site's most important present remains, including the Parthenon, the Propylaea, the Erechtheion, and the Temple of Athena Nike. And no, the temple name was not inspired by the Nike shoe company. Just kidding, it was the other way around, since Nike was goddess of victory and speed. And well, it can be crowded when visiting Acropolis. This is in January, so complete off season, and there are still a lot of tourists around. So here we are, Meteora. What is it? Well, it is a group of 7 monasteries built on high rock pillars. They were founded in the 14th and 15th centuries as an expression of life in solitude. They also offered protection in times of political instability. In the heydays, there were 24 monasteries. Now there are only 7 left, of which 4 are still inhabited by monks or nuns. The iconic sandstone rock pillars were created about 60 million years ago by the effects of rivers and earthquakes. This unique and enormous column rock rise magically from the ground, but their unusual form is not easy to explain geologically. They are not volcanic plugs or hard rock typical elsewhere, but the rocks are composed of a mixture of sandstone and conglomerate. This type of rock formation and weathering process has happened in many other places locally and throughout the world. But what makes Meteora appearance special is the uniformity of the sedimentary rock deposited over millions of years, leaving few signs of vertical layering. The exact date of the establishment of the monasteries is unknown, but we do know something. From 1356 to 72, the great Meteoron monastery was built on the broad rock, which was perfect for the monks. They were safe from political upheaval and had complete control of the entry to the monastery. The only means of reaching it was by climbing a long ladder, which was pulled up whenever the monks felt threatened. At the end of the 14th century, the Byzantine Empire's reign over northern Greece was being increasingly threatened by Turkish raiders. The hermit monks, seeking a retreat from the expanding Turkish occupation, found the rock pillars of Meteora to be an ideal refuge. More than 20 monasteries were built. 6 remain today. In 1517, the monastery of Varlam was built, which was reputed to house the finger of St. John and the shoulder blade of St. Andrew. Yikes! Who wants to have human remains in their house? Well, obviously some religions do. Access to the monasteries was originally and deliberately difficult, requiring either long ladders latched together or large nets used to haul up both goods and people. This required quite a leap of faith, I have to say. The ropes were replaced, so the story goes, only when the Lord let them break. So until the 17th century, the primary means of conveying goods and people from the ground up was by means of baskets and ropes mostly. In 1921, Queen Marie of Romania visited Meteora, becoming the first woman ever allowed to enter the great Meteoron monastery. In 1920, there was an improvement in the arrangements. Steps were cut into the rock, making the complex accessible via a bridge from the nearby plateau. During World War II, the site was bombed. Many art treasures were stolen. Nowadays, monasteries are open to the tourists, at least parts of them, and I guess the income helps greatly with the upkeep. How else would the monks and nuns get the money? And how do you get there from the parking lot? Well, the old-fashioned way. No, they don't pull you up in a harness or in a net. The newer old-fashioned way, you walk the stairs. And there is another place to see in Athens. It's called Daphne Monastery, and it is also a designated UNESCO World Heritage Site for its significant historical and architectural value. The monastery is famed as masterpiece of Middle Byzantine architecture. And to add to my suspicion that no one really knows about the place, even though the monastery is a UNESCO recognized site. The city bus driver, who drives by multiple times back and forth during his shift, had a trouble at first telling me when to hop off the bus, and I didn't mind walking one bus stop back after we initially drove by, and I had to tell him that's where I wanna go. It was kind of interesting, not something that attracts a lot of tourists. As you can see, almost no one's there. This is the Arch of Hadrian, most commonly known in Greek as Hadrian's Gate. It resembles, in some respects, a Roman arch. It spanned an ancient road from the center of Athens to the complex of structures on the eastern side of the city that included the temple of Olympian Zeus. The monument was erected in 132 AD in honor of Roman Emperor Hadrian, a benefactor of the city of Athens as triumphal arch, and in order to embellish the then new district of Athens, constructed mostly during his rule and bearing his name, Hadrianopolis, which means city of Hadrian. This is Panathinaik Stadium in Athens. One of the main historic attractions of Athens, and it is the only stadium in the world built entirely of marble. A stadium was built on the site of a simple race course around 330 BC. It was rebuilt in marble around 144 AD and had a capacity of 50,000 seats. After the rise of Christianity in the 4th century, it was largely abandoned. The stadium was excavated in 1869, and after being refurbished, it hosted the opening and closing ceremonies of the first modern Olympics in 1896. It was used for various purposes in the 20th century and was once again used as an Olympic venue in 2004. It is the finishing point for the annual Athens Classic Marathon. It is also the last venue in Greece from where the Olympic flame handover ceremony to the host nation takes place. So, quite a place. And you can watch the changing of the guards in Athens. Every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. people gather and watch. They go to Syntagma Square to watch the official changing of the guards, the military unit whose members stand proudly in perfect stillness in front of the Hellenic Parliament. There are, of course, changing every hour in the day, but on Sundays it is the official ceremony with the official customs. Since visiting Greece was a last-minute opportunity for me to go to Greece, I haven't done any preparation, just wanted to make a car rental reservation in advance. What I learned was that Greece requires all visitors to have an international driver's license. Never in my many European visits any country required the international DL. US DL was always good enough alone. No problem, I thought. I have one day before my departure from the US, so I'll just go to the nearest AAA office and get one. Oh well, first surprise here. It's a holiday and the office is closed. Upon my arrival in Athens, I found a hotel and went to visit the car rental office. And here was a second surprise. They would rent me the car, or a car, but of course I would be liable for any police fines should I be stopped by police. The clerk didn't know how much the fine would be, but estimated 1,000 to 2,000 euro. quite pricey. And above all, I would be personally responsible for any potential damages or theft of the car, no matter what. So after thinking it through for about 10 seconds, I decided to rent the car. After all, I did not anticipate ever visiting Greece again. It did add some unexpected aspect to my driving behavior, I have to say. I have followed the driving rules and especially speed limits religiously, if I may say so. After all, I did not want to give police any reason to stop me. And it was challenging at times. It seemed that I am the only driver in Greece following driving rules, and very soon I have found out that I am sticking out like a sore thumb. How do I know? By the looks I got from other drivers. Sometimes I got puzzled looks like if they were saying, "What's wrong with you? Why are you so slow?" And sometimes they were saying, or rather shouting, something that did not sound very welcoming. There were times I was glad I did not speak Greek, I have to tell you. Well, but everything ended well. I didn't get into an accident, police didn't stop me, I returned the car and all was good. So I hope you liked today's video. If you do, spread the word, give it a thumb up, subscribe or do nothing, and see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.